Okay, we're gonna start letting people in the room.
Bruce, what can you tell us? Everyone raise your hand and get a mic.
Sorry. Come on, man. My bad. Bruce, what can you tell us about the flight home and just the excitement in the aftermath of winning the Western Conference round?
Yeah, I mean, damn. I mean, everybody was super happy. Everybody was up, just having a good time. I was all throughout the plane, talking to everyone through the front and the back. And then I got a little tired, so I went to sleep. But I'm in high spirits on the plane, and we're happy we're in the finals.
And what have the last couple of days been like, obviously without knowing who you guys are going to face?
Pretty relaxed days, recovering, and getting ready for finals. Today was like kind of our first practice. Last few days were PD days, so today was our first practice.
Bruce, with the Miami-Boston series, would you, the way you sort of look at it, would you rather it get stretched longer and whoever comes out of that be a little less rested and have that advantage for you guys, or would you rather sort of know earlier who you're going to face? What's sort of the balance, I guess, of what you prefer there?
I mean, honestly, either. I don't care. We're going to prepare the same, whoever wins. But that's a great series right now. So I can't wait to find out who we're playing.
Graham, go ahead. Oh, Graham, you're good.
How difficult is the waiting for the game with 9 days off?
For me, it's not difficult at all. I mean, I've watched every game, and right now, really just recovering, resting, and then our days off have me some time to go out and golf. So it's been great.
Pat Graham, AP, go ahead.
Bruce, thanks for taking the time to do this. I guess 2 parts. How did you golf? And then the second part would be, when you have a team like this that is so cohesive, how nice is it? There's no drama. There's no nothing. It seems like you guys get along really well.
Yeah, the first day of golf, I played pretty well. The second day was terrible. But yeah, I mean, this is just a great locker room. Make everything easy. Make coming to work easy. So like today, it was like a serious practice, but everybody was having a good time, laughing, smiling. So it's just great. This is a great group.
Bruce, you guys talked a lot about how you hold each other accountable, and what I want to know is what aspect does mental toughness play in a long grind of the playoffs, and what do you think maybe you and KCP have contributed to that aspect of the team?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, different people deal with different situations different. You could talk to Mike different than you talk to Jack, or Jack talk to me. Just knowing that you just know how to approach your teammates and how to come off correct to them. But me and KCP, I mean, you can come at me anyway. Like, you can spaz on me, you can come nice. I'm gonna take it the same way. If that helped this group for both of us, then I think we did a pretty good job.
Harrison, go ahead.
Hey, Bruce, when you just kind of reflect back on this season, all the way back to your decision to sign to Denver and then just how the regular season went, how do you reflect on that, just for how it's helped your career as a player and how it might help you, like, financially in the long run too?
Yeah, I haven't thought about it too much. I think I'll think about it when we're done. But obviously, it's been a great season. It's been a great decision to come here and play with these guys. It's been a perfect fit. So I'm happy I chose here. And coaches actually today, he asked me what my contract was like for next year. But I haven't thought about the future other than the finals yet.
Bruce, kind of on those lines, I remember you mentioned I think it was after the Minnesota series, that you were just kind of happy to not be swept like you were last year in Brooklyn. Have you kind of been able to take the time to realize kind of the gravity of where you guys are and where you are getting ready to play in the finals next week?
Yeah, I mean, you dream about being in situations like this. I never really used to watch the finals. The only time I did watch it when I was growing up and was a Celtics fan and they were there. But now, approaching it, it's crazy. My phone's been blowing up ever since the sweep. So I can't wait for it to get started.
Brandon, go ahead.
Bruce, I know you've obviously seen these guys plenty, whoever you're going to end up playing, but you coming from the East, do you feel like it gives you a little bit of insight or, a specific player that maybe you've had a bunch of matchups against that you can share with your teammates as well?
I mean, maybe a little bit, but it's a whole different year. Celtics have a different coach. But, I mean, I played them last year, so I kind of know. Like, I played the Celtics a lot the last few years, so I kind of know some of their players. But maybe. We'll see. I don't know.
Vinny, go ahead.
Bruce, going back to free agency once again, how are you evaluating things in that situation? Are you taking into account relationships with Cal and Coach Malone, or is it strictly role and opportunity?
I really haven't thought about free agency at all. Oh, last year. Okay. Yeah, it was just fit. And then they basically said what I wanted to hear because I wanted to get out that 4-man, big man role, floater game and show what I can do. And the first thing they said, you can come here and be a guard because Jamal was coming off injury and Mike was coming off injury. And that's exactly what I wanted to hear. So I was like a perfect fit.
Go ahead, Katie.
Bruce, what experiences on and off the court have led to this collective confidence that you guys have had and that has grown as the season has progressed?
Say it again one more time. Sorry.
What experiences on and off the court come to mind when you think about what's led to this collective confidence that you guys have and how it's progressed throughout the season?
I would say just vibes in the locker room after practice. Usually, like the last few teams I've been on, practice is over, everyone showers, and everybody gets out. But here, I mean, I sit in my locker for like 30, 40 minutes, like it's college, just joking, laughing, and having a good time with the fellas. Some of them leave early because they have families, obviously, but when they don't have to go home right away, we'll just sit in the locker room, cracking jokes and having a good time.
Arnie, go ahead.
Bruce, Michael Malone and some of your teammates have mentioned how KCP brings, the championship pedigree and how that benefits, the mix with this team. Can you tell me in what ways that might manifest itself and where does that kind of show up and be a benefit?
Yeah, he's just the ultimate leader, ultimate professional, comes in every day, works extremely hard, and holds everyone accountable. But he is the only one on this team who's won a championship. He knows what it takes and what we need to do. So we got to listen to that guy.
Bruce, I've only asked you this because you said you grew up a Celtics fan. I'm not going to ask you the obvious, which team would you rather play? But as a Celtics fan, would that be kind of cool to play the team that you grew up cheering for?
Yeah, definitely. As I said, me growing up a Celtics fan, watching the NBA Finals when they were there, it'd be insane. Like I said, when they had me mic'd up, like the playoffs in LA, I'm watching the Celtics play the LA in the finals, and obviously this past round we played the Lakers. It'd be great, and I'd be in front of my family, my people back where I went to high school. But if we did go back to Boston, it'd be a lot of tickets, so it'd be really expensive.
Two more, Ryan, go ahead.
Bruce, when you think about the progression of this team and where you guys started back in training camp, what do you think is the thing that you guys learned the most over the course of that season to go from a team in training camp to a championship team? I
think, coming into the year, we always knew we had a chance to be here. And we've proved it all year. There's been ups and downs for sure. But the biggest thing we improved on was defense. Early in the year was non-existent kind of, or some games it was there and some games it wasn't. But on the defensive end, we got a lot better.
Bruce, to kind of follow up on that a little bit, and not to put you on the spot at all, but were there any turning points that you can think about throughout the season, be it locking in defensively, big wins, big comeback wins, any moments where you're like, all right, like this is something special brewing?
Not that I could remember now, but yeah.
I'll go ahead, one more, Adam.
Bruce, in what ways do you think individually you improved as a player this season with this team? Are there any ways?
Obviously, just being a guard. I didn't show that I could be a guard in Brooklyn, but here I'm majority playing backup one, you can say, and the biggest minutes of the game. I'm on the floor, contributing on both ends of the floor. So I think the biggest question was, can I score outside of being with those two great players I played with last year? And I've proven that.
We'll take a couple from the Zoom, and then we got Jamal here.
All right, we'll go to Zoom here. To Jake Fisher, we'll start with Yahoo Sports.
Hey, Bruce, you've talked about your free agency decision a little bit. Can you kind of tell us where you were and what it felt like when you got the call from Denver? Because I know you kind of were lingering out there for a little longer than you might have anticipated.
Yeah, so the rumors coming into free agency last year was that I was getting a lot of offers, which I wasn't. Nobody really wanted me because they didn't know if I could be a guard or not. So I kind of took it personal. But I knew after the season, the way I played in Brooklyn, it wouldn't fit, or people would question how I played. So I kind of told my agent that I was going to get F this summer, like I already knew it. So I just came in with a chip on my shoulder, and Denver came in and said the right things, and it clicked, and it was perfect fit.
Just a quick reminder for those on Zoom, if you have a question to virtually raise your hand. Next, we'll go to Arias Barakas, Cosmos.
Aris Barkas from Cosmos TV. Hello, I'm from Greece, so I have a very specific question. You have played with some great superstars like Kevin Durant and now with Nikola Jokic, and you have battled a lot against Giannis. Is there anything that you have learned from your battles with Giannis that can help you in the finals?
With Giannis?
Yes.
No.
Next.
Next, we'll go to Joel Rush, Forbes.
Hey, Bruce. You mentioned getting the opportunity to play guard, and after Bones got traded, you kind of shifted from the 2 to the 1. And just how smooth did you feel like that transition went for you, and how long did it take for you to kind of adjust growing into that role?
I think it was very easy. I think right away it clicked maybe. I just think I had to be more aggressive. I was kind of passive towards the beginning of the year, trying to pick my spots. But my teammates told me to be aggressive, be me. Nobody can guard me out there. So I think it was a easy fit to move to starting point guard and backup point guard.
Next, we'll go to Tim Reynolds, AP.
Bruce, you mentioned what it would be like, obviously, to play in Boston. You have a little bit of history in Miami, too, of course. What would it be like to come back to the home of the U, and if that's the way this thing worked out?
Yeah, that would definitely be cool. We'll probably practice at the U, be around Coach L and all those guys down there, and I can finally congratulate them for making it to the Final Four in person. But I loved my 2 years in Miami, so it'd be great.
All right, Bruce, that'll do it for today. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you, sir. Questions for Jamal? Mike, go ahead.
Jamal, I asked Bruce this. What was the plane ride like home, and just what was that scene like to be able to celebrate, knowing you had so many days off, but to be able to enjoy it and soak that moment in?
It was good. Everybody on the flight was standing up. It wasn't just the players, so it was nice to have the staff. Oh, get out of here. It was nice to have the staff, just mingling and all that, which was cool. And obviously everybody was just enjoying the moment, like you said. So it's a good flight.
And I think you said on NBA Today, yesterday, or whatever day it was, you guys were just focusing on yourselves without knowing an opponent going forward. What does that mean, focusing on yourselves? What are you guys honing in on?
Just our awareness, especially when we need to lock it in practices, just the detail stuff, man. Let's be on time. Let's not have any turnovers that we're doing script. Just kind of the simple things where we're not getting sloppy just because we are where we are. So I think it's more of those mental awareness days instead of, we know our bodies are going to be right by that time, June 1st. So just making sure our mental's staying sharp and locked in throughout these days.
Pat Graham, go ahead.
Hey, Jamal, you saw firsthand how hard MPJ worked to get back. How impressed are you with where he's at and what he's been able to accomplish?
I think he's done amazing, not just with his scoring or his shooting, but with the all-around game. Like he's grabbing boards, he's helping out in the boards, grabbing like 10 a game, and playing defense, just communicating more. doing all the little things that will help us be more in tune on both ends of the court. Stay in space, not cutting when it's not there. Picking the spots when to shoot or when to pass and cut. Just everything. Just playing a more complete game throughout the game.
Jamal, is there any worry about losing the rhythm that you guys had in that Lakers series with this long layoff, or do you take the rest 10 times out of 10?
That's the thing. I mean, we take the rest, yeah, but you don't want to pick up bad habits throughout this week. Just like I said to Mike, just staying sharp. Whatever it is, right? If we got to flip the switch and lock in for a drill or two, then we do that. Just be able to stay locked in. We don't want to, get relaxed. I think that's the biggest. We want to relax and just wait. We want to stay sharp.
Jamal, you guys have had great offense, obviously, throughout these playoffs, but the defense has really risen as well. What do you think is the biggest key to maintaining that, but also kind of what has gotten you to this point with the defensive end?
On the defensive end, I'd say it's our intent. I think, I was watching a hockey game yesterday. I just threw it on. And they said one team is playing, I think it was the green team and the white team, couldn't tell you. But one team was, they said one team was playing with a certain intent, certain intensity, meaning, whether they turn it over or not, whether they missed a shot or not, they play with a certain aggression and awareness, and the other team was just kind of going through the motions. And you could visibly see it. And I think our defense has been being played with intent. I think we've all been on a string. We've all, when we need to stop, we all lock in and try, even if we don't get it, we lock in and try and get it. Possession by possession. I think that's crucial at this stage.
Go ahead, Ryan. Benny, my bad.
Come on, Nick.
Jamal, we've talked about it throughout the season, just the value of some of the first-year guys, Bruce, KCP, the draft picks. Just how and the continuity of the core is one thing, but how valuable have the new additions been this year?
They've been great. I think biggest thing for them is just staying ready. I think, during the season, P. Watt came in against Phoenix and another team I think he played really well, just being aggressive, not overthinking. CB has been great all year, just picking his spots and being solid while he's on the court. And everybody else, man, just staying ready and staying within their group upstairs. If we do two groups, everybody's either making a subbing themselves in or just knowing what's going on. I think that's crucial. So right now we're very team oriented. We got everybody participating, everybody involved, and everybody mentally, like I said, locked in.
Go ahead, Matt.
A lot was made out of the Rui Hachimura on Nikola adjustment with Anthony Davis roaming. By the end, it really felt like you guys kind of solved that adjustment. What does that speak to your guys' ability to problem solve?
I think we've seen everything. I was going to make a joke, but no, it's okay. So it'll be everywhere. I just think, we've seen everything. We've seen all the adjustments. We've seen the double from the baseline, the double from the top, the sign from a non-shooter, the single coverage to, what I'm saying? We've seen every different type of mixture. We've seen them try to put Kawhi and PG to switch it. We've seen everything. So, it's all a read. It's all balance. It's all timing. And I don't think that worked.
Go ahead, kids.
That's pretty close to a joke. Thank you.
No, it wasn't.
Really nice celebration for you and a lot of the fellows after the Western Conference Finals. If you'd indulge me, what one or two things you're really grateful to your father for getting to this point for you?
I just think because we've envisioned it since the beginning, just me personally, me and him have envisioned it and dreamt about it and went through all these moments in our head and on the court. So, he's been saying, how often do you get this opportunity, to be in this position and living your dream, basically, living it out. So, just taking advantage of the opportunity. and realizing what the opportunity is, I think, is the biggest thing. So just having fun right now.
Go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, you guys knew that already. Yeah.
Now I have two for you because are you sure you're Canadian? The green team and the white team in the hockey play?
Yeah, man. I don't know. I've been playing basketball a whole lot lately. So.
Well, so how are you watching these? How are you watching these Eastern Conference Finals? And can you kind of give us a quick thought on each team since you don't know who you're going to play?
Just a thought on both of them. I mean, Boston's got a good team. They got a deep team. They can throw size at you. They're still young, so they can run both ways. They've been there plenty of times already with that young core, so they're kind of ready for the moment. My opinion. In Miami, it's tough. They're gonna junk the game up. They're defense oriented. That's where they make their bank, and they got a lot of guys that play very hard. They play very hard, and that alone can win you a lot of games. And I think we've been seeing both sides of what I just said.
Vic, go ahead.
Jamal, you and your team have the ability to hit shots from everywhere. It's become a three-point league, but your mid-range game, Joker, mid-range, obviously everybody. How instrumental is that this time of year? You don't have to rely on one shot, one area. You can do it from everywhere.
Yeah, that's why it's nice playing with this team because everything's a read. If somebody's open, you're going to see that on film that guy is open, and everybody is playing for each other. If I cut, it's for the other guy to get an open shot. If I run my lane, it's for everybody else to get their own shot. You know what I'm saying? So I think when we're just playing the right way, everything opens up for everybody. It could be a Bruce 3, it could be a Mike backdoor cut, it could be AG, and it's just standing in the dunker waiting. I think everybody eats when we're all playing for each other, and we've been doing that for a while now. So I think we're just in a great rhythm of playing unselfish basketball.
Katie, go ahead.
How long do you think it took for you and Joker's chemistry to develop to an elite level? And do you remember when you thought this could be something really special?
Yeah, like I said, we came off the bench together my rookie year when I was backing up Gary and he was backing up Nurk. And so we would actually come in the game together, and we would run post-ups or just passing, just simple give and goes, but we used to run it crazy, run it really good, and he used to make a lot of over-the-head passes, and yeah, I'd say then we kind of developed chemistry, and then as soon as we both started, we started playing off each other more. We started figuring out where we liked the ball, when we liked the ball, when I'm going to pass, when he's going to pass, when he's driving, when to relocate, where to relocate. So it's just all the details we picked up together over time, playing for, most of our careers.
Harrison, go ahead.
Jamal, after Game 4, Malone said about David Adelman that he should get a head coaching job, this upcoming summer. How has he kind of impacted you and helped your game, since you guys have been together here in Denver?
Yeah, not just me, but everybody. I just think he puts everybody in the right spots, and when it's time to lock in, he can lock you in. He doesn't. He's funny. He goofs around a lot, yeah. But when we're messing up, you're messing up, but you're getting away with it. Yeah, he'll get on you, and I think I respect that a lot. Just because we're all in it together, it's not like it's malicious or anything. It's just we all have a goal here. We're all here for a reason. So it's nice. I go to him for a lot of the offensive stuff, just on reads of what he's seen, just because I know he's locked in on that. And sometimes coach maybe thinking about subs or lineups or time to score, whatever. But he's always giving me great input on what we can run, or sometimes we have the same ideas, which is just really nice to see that what I'm feeling in the game, he's also seeing from afar. So well deserved, and he should definitely be getting more offers.
Couple questions on Zoom.
We'll start with Alex Zigic, RTS Serbia.
Hi, Jamal. You just mentioned that obviously you worked for many years with Nikola, and great success. Did you guys ever sit down and say, I dreamt about kind of the finals and winning it all, and now that there is potentially 4 games, you just need to win 4 games and get the trophy. Do you look at it as 4 games, or do you look at just game-to-game situation?
No, I mean, you can only play 1 game at a time, but we know we got 4 to go, 4 wins to go. To answer your first question, no, we haven't sat down and like talked about it or anything like that. We just, like I said, we talk the language on the court when we're playing. We just read the game and play off each other. There's no like, it's hard to explain, man. There's no selfishness when we're playing the game. It's just hit, cut, pass, move. If it's not there, you don't throw it. I try to go one-on-one, doesn't have it, hit, cut. You know what I'm saying? We're just kind of free-flowing, playing the game, and it has been working.
Next, we'll go to Christos Saltis, Sportsoul Greece.
Hey, Jamal, hope you're doing well, first of all. What does it mean for you to be in this, to be able to fight for a championship? You're 4 wins away from your first title. After everything that you've been through in the last couple of years, how big is that for you?
It's nice. Especially coming off the injuries, to be here. It just feels good, and like I said, I want to win these 4 before we indulge in any celebrations or anything like that. So just trying to stay locked in and just stay locked in, enjoy the moment. But we know we got more work to do.
All right, we have time for one more. We'll end with Tosin Abayomi, Pulse, Nigeria.
Yes, Jamal, you did not win the Magic Johnson Western Conference MVP, but do you have your sights set on winning the Finals MVP? Is that something you want to?
No, we're just trying to win a championship. All that comes after you win the championship, you know. So if we were to lose, no one gets that trophy, right? So we win the championship, everybody eats, I'm just excited to see everybody succeed.
Thank you, Jamal.
All right, that'll do it. Thanks, Jamal.
Appreciate it.
Because it's so far away.
You know. Michael, I asked Bruce and Jamal this, what they could share about the plane ride home. They said there was a lot of intermingling and a lot of partying up and down. That's my word, not their words. But what can you share about the scene coming home, sweeping the Lakers, and making history?
Yeah, I didn't see anything. I didn't hear anything.
You don't remember anything?
No, I remember everything. I was sitting there with my coaches. It felt like took forever to take off, and the front of the plane had some music playing. Sounded pretty lively, but the back of the plane I was nervous to go back there. They said, "Coach, you don't want to go in the back." So I stayed away from the back and kept my head down. I watched part of the fourth quarter, all the plays that we made down the stretch, which was just incredible. Have we come up with a name for Nikola's shot? Like, is there going to be like a historical name for the shot he made? The Sombor sling. All right. Yeah. But yeah, it was eventful. But for me, it was just trying to soak in the whole moment, and kept on asking myself, is this series really over? So let everybody else have some fun, but we got a lot of work to do.
Michael, how do you not lose the rhythm that you guys had, throughout that Lakers series, and balance that with getting you guys the rest you need heading into the finals?
Well, it's impossible to keep your rhythm if you're not playing games. I mean, you can do whatever you want in practice, but there's no way you can replicate playing an NBA playoff game. We give our guys off Tuesday. Wednesday was an optional day. A lot of guys showed up. And then just yesterday, I had everybody come in, get some conditioning in PD. And, today we had a good practice. Didn't go long. But for us, my biggest concern is the rhythm, as you mentioned, but more importantly, conditioning. You're playing every other day for so long, and now all of a sudden you have a 8, 9, 10-day break, whatever it is. So I wanted to make sure we got up and down, conditioned. The energy in the gym was great. And it's a tough situation because you're just kind of preparing for an opponent. You don't know who you're going to play. So right now, as I told our players, Cyrus, and this is about us, we have to shore up who we are. and address the areas that we have not been maybe good enough, or areas that we can clean up. So, but it's really hard to keep your rhythm when you're not playing NBA games. But we'll do everything we can to try to keep the rhythm as best as possible.
Pat Graham.
The outside looking in, it looks like there hasn't been much drama. It looks like this team really likes each other. What's it been like to coach a team that just generally seems to like each other?
Well, I think for 8 years now, I think it's kind of been a part of our culture. You know, we've, you know, in this business, you know, you have to bring in talented players. That's a given. But I think we've always done a good job of identifying guys that will fit into this culture. And what I also love about this franchise is that when guys don't fit to the culture, they're not here anymore. You know, we have guys that understand that being selfless is a huge part of being a Denver Nugget. And guys will continue to buy into that, whether they're playing or not playing. So if you're going to win at a high level, you can't have distractions. To your point, you have to have guys that get along on the court, off the court, and come together and share in a common goal. And I've seen that for years now. And what's different this year is we've added some great pieces, and we have Michael and Jamal back healthy.
Jacob, go ahead.
Coach, what's it like for you to just be a part of the historical nature of this whole thing, just being on the first team that's made it to the finals for the Nuggets? And what do you expect out of the atmosphere that's going to surround that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a delicate balance, because I think in life, not just in sports, but in life, you have to enjoy moments. I think if you don't enjoy the small victories and the moments along the way, I think you're missing something. At the same time, we have much work in front of us. You know, our goal wasn't just to win the Western Conference Championship. It wasn't just to get to the NBA Finals. Our goal is to win a championship, and obviously, you know, that's in front of us still. So, you know, you enjoy the moment, you enjoy the people you're working with and go to war with every night. But at the same time, I think it's my job to remind our guys that, you know, don't read and listen to everybody telling you how great you are, because then you're going to get a little soft with success. And I don't want us getting soft with success. I want us staying hungry. I want us, you know, staying desperate and urgent and disciplined. And that's our biggest challenge right now, because, you know, we don't even know who we're playing. So, you know, that's going to be our biggest challenge as we approach next Thursday night.
Two things, two ideas. The first one was inspired by what a coaching nerd you are. If a celebration on the plane and you're watching plays in the fourth quarter, that's awesome. The somber sling, or the Aaron Gordon and Jamal challenging LeBron in the final second, which is an invitation to a foul. Which of those two plays impressed you the most?
Well, obviously, that last 4 seconds was an eternity. You know, and you know, I took that technical foul in that second quarter on purpose. You know, because it was, you know, and which is most of the time when I get a tech, it's on purpose. And as I told one of the officials at the end of the first half, you know, I said, I let him know I did that on purpose, and this is why. I just felt it was getting out of hand. And then you allude to the last play of the game where they get LeBron the ball in the high post. He drives to his left hand. Aaron Gordon on his hip and Jamal Murray in front of him. Puts his hands in there, makes a great defensive play. Correct, no call. But we always know in those situations, great player, a lot of times will get those calls. So kudos to the referees for realizing it was what it was. And I think all of us were somewhat stunned when the buzzer went off. There was no whistle. Holy shit, we won. And I think I speak for a lot of people. So that was amazing. I mean, Nicola's shot, I mean, you know, that's what I wanted to watch, because, you know, just all the key plays down the stretch, things that, you know, I mean, Nicola's drive, which wound up being the winning basket of the game, just guys stepping up with, you know, a potential sweep on the line. And you and I talked about this, Kiz. You reminded me of the history this franchise has had with the Lakers. And it hasn't been a history that Nuggets fans are proud of. And so to do it against that team in that building made it even that much more special because of the guys like Dan Issel, Doug Moe, just the great players, great people that have represented this franchise for so many years. So this was for them as well. In the moment, it's us, our coaching staff, our players, but this was for all Nuggets, and that was what was really cool about it.
Brandon, go ahead.
Coach, kind of a two-parter. You said you're focused on yourself, but do you have coaches scouting both teams, like drilling down on Boston and Miami, and then?
No, we're just going to show up for game one.
Well, but then can you also just give me maybe a quick thought on each team, not knowing who you're going to play yet?
Yeah, I mean, we've each round we have one coach dedicated to the opponent. So right now, obviously, you have two coaches, one working on Boston, one working on Miami. We've been talking about both teams every day. Obviously, watched the game last night, and we'll watch again tomorrow night to see if Miami can close it out. If you talk about Miami first, and you look at what they've done this postseason, being in the play-in, upsetting Milwaukee 4-1 in the first round, beating New York in the second round, and jumping out to a 3-0 lead over Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals. And Eric Spoelstra's a hell of a coach, won a championship. He's been there forever. Jimmy Butler has been playing at an extremely high level. But when I think of Boston, I kind of see a lot of similarities between Boston and us, because people talk about Jimmy and Bam was an all-star. But to me, like, they have guys stepping up every night. I mean, Gabe Vincent has been phenomenal. Him being out last night was a big, a big advantage for Boston because Gabe Vincent's been playing so well. Caleb Martin's been playing well. Kyle Lowry's had a great postseason. Kevin Love, Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero may come back. So that game is going to be, if it's Miami, that series will be hard fought. Very good defensive team, and with a guy in Jimmy Butler that has shown that, kind of like Nikola and Jamal, the biggest stage, he takes advantage of the opportunity. And then obviously in Boston, you have a team that was in the NBA Finals last year. And we know what they're capable of on both ends of the floor. Jason Tatum is one of the best one-on-one players in the game. Jaylen Brown, that two-headed attack that they have. But their other guys, their role players, if you will, the Al Horfords, the Marcus Smarts, the Derek Whites, the Malcolm Brogdons, those guys, Robert Williams. You don't get to the finals just with one player. I think ourselves, and whether it's Boston or Miami, have complete teams and have quality depth. And no matter who it is, we know that we'll have our hands full trying to bring home the first championship in franchise history.
Yeah, Michael, right here up front. You've seen Joker come in from being a young man, a long, long ways from home, to a married dad now. What are you most proud about with him outside of ball?
That he's never changed. I think we all see it in all walks of life. How does fame, fortune affect you? And for most people, it goes to their head and they become something different. Sometimes they forget where they've come from and who helped them get to where they've gotten to. And the one thing I really love about Nikola, just forget basketball, to your point, just as a young man who is a proud father and a husband, as you mentioned, Paul, but through all the success, the MVPs, the max contracts, all that stuff, he's still the same guy. I marvel at that because I've been in the league and around this game a long time, and that is a rarity in this business, and for a celebrity, a superstar in general. So the fact that Nikola is still a humble, selfless person, and he cares about home, he cares about family, he cares about his horses, like that. The guy is just who he is, and I couldn't have more respect for him as a man because of that.
Adam?
Michael, do the playoffs make a team better? And if so, in what ways do you feel the Nuggets were better in Game 4 of the Lakers series than they were in Game 1 of the Minnesota series?
Interesting question. You have to find ways to improve from series to series and round to round to try to advance. But every round and every opponent is a completely different problem and challenge. Every team is built differently. So I think our guys if anything, over 15 playoff games now, being 12-3. Their confidence, I think the defense has been, I know that was the biggest question mark probably for our team was, well, can they defend well enough in the playoffs? And I think we have. You think about the first round with guys like Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards. You think about the second round with two unstoppable players in Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. And you think about LeBron and AD, and I think overall our defense has really passed that test to this point. And then you think about our offense. We played the Lakers, who had the #1 defense in the playoffs. And our offensive rating after 4 games is 122.3, which is just historical. So that speaks to how potent the offense is. And when you combine a capable defense with that offense, that allows you to do great things, and that's what we've been able to do. But I see just kind of real consistency from my group from Game 1 against Minnesota through Game 4 against the Lakers, and that's what you want this time of year.
Take a couple on Zoom.
We'll go to Conrado Giulietti, ESPN Brazil.
Yes, thank you, Coach. You've brought attention to something that bothers the fans for sure, which was the narrative while you were playing the Lakers. Will you think that this will change in the finals, depending on which teams you guys will face?
Well, if anybody's still talking about the Lakers in the NBA Finals, that's on them. I mean, they've gone fishing. We're still playing. And, the narrative should be on whatever 2 teams are still alive. Because to get to that point is it's historical in nature for us. It's the first time in franchise history the Denver Nuggets have made the NBA Finals. And we're not satisfied with that. But I just hope that the narrative is on the 2 teams that are representing their conferences. And let's salute and appreciate the greatness of each and every one of those players on the court. And let's appreciate the journey each of them has made to get to this point. We have guys that'll be their first time in the finals. We have guys in KCP that have won a championship before. So that should be the narrative. And, let's get all the negativity out of the way because, this is a tremendous accomplishment. And I hope that they're celebrated for that.
James Conlon, RCB Radio Sport Ireland.
Long time.
Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Good to catch up with you again. Mike, you spoke about your defensive achievements so far in the playoffs, shutting down KD, shutting down Booker, shutting down LeBron James. But playoff Jimmy at the moment in Miami Heat, no one seems to be able to shut him down at the moment. He's averaging 27 points a game. Miami hold a hot hand. How difficult of a challenge is he going to be for Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. in terms of locking down Jimmy Butler?
Oh, it'll be a hell of a challenge. I mean, to your point, if you look at Jimmy Butler's body of work and what he's been doing since that first round against Milwaukee, upsetting the #1 seed 4-1. And, Milwaukee's got some really good defensive players. And I think I heard Drew Holiday say the other day, it didn't matter who was guarding Jimmy in that series. He was just in a zone, and he was unstoppable. You don't stop a guy like Jimmy Butler with one player. I mean, it's not going to be just on Aaron Gordon. It won't be just on Michael Porter or whoever's guarding him. You have to guard guys like that, and you mentioned them, the KDs, the Anthony Edwards, the Devin Bookers, the LeBron James. That is 5 guys defending as one to try to stop a player with that kind of talent. And that's going to be the same mindset if it is Miami trying to stop Jimmy Butler. You have to give him different looks, and you have to keep him off balance, and you have to have 5 guys locked into that task, one possession at a time.
All right, we got 2 more for you here. We'll go to Simon Evans, AFP.
Simon says go.
Oh yeah, hi. You were talking about the momentum and the players with this gap in time before the finals. What about for yourself? I mean, are you able to switch off a little bit, or do you not switch off? Are you watching all the games like it's a live film session, or are you watching them in a normal way? How do you want to keep yourself sharp, or did you feel like you needed after that series to take a little break yourself?
Well, no, I can't go home and be in like Game 7 mindset because my wife and kids would leave me. So, I have to force myself to take a deep breath and remind myself that I am a husband, I am a father, and to be a part of my family. My family keeps me balanced. My family keeps me grounded. And I think that's so important at this time of the season. We spend a tremendous amount of time preparing our players, preparing ourselves, and getting ready for each and every game. But I think you also have to take time to enjoy the moment and be a regular person. I mean, if that means me going home today and beating my wife in pickleball, so be it. But I have to make sure that I'm taking a deep breath once in a while and enjoying the view, while also maintaining an eye and a perspective on what we have in front of us. And that's our attitude as a team right now.
All right, we'll end with Tim Reynolds, AP.
Michael, you spoke about Jimmy a couple minutes ago, and I think part of the chip he's always carried is he was a 30 pick. How much, being a 41 pick, how much do you think is that an under-talked about part of Nikola's story? I mean, we get this sense watching from afar that not much really seems to bother him, but do you think that ever bugged him? Do you think that's part of the reason why he became this guy, was to say, I'm not number 41?
You know what? I've never heard that question before, and I think it's a great one because I've never even thought about that. And it's funny how different players use maybe a perceived slight. I was drafted, I was traded. They use it as motivation to carry them forward. In the 8 years I've been with Nikola, and I spent a lot of time with him, not just during the season, but in the off season, off the court, I've never felt him have any kind of perceived slight about being drafted 41. I think for him it's been more about somebody took a chance on me, even though I guess he was drafted during a Taco Bell commercial. Maybe that was what really kind of pushed him forward, was they didn't even have his pick on the draft. But I think Nikola, it's never about looking backwards. It's always about looking forwards and challenging himself to become the best player that he can be. And early on, being the best player he could be was not necessarily about a skill set. It was about maturing, growing up, handling adversity, dealing with the referees, getting into the best shape of his life, losing weight. And I think once that all happened, that kind of coincided with our rise to where we've been the last 5 seasons now. But I can't speak for Nikola, but I've never felt that being picked 41st in the second round has been his motivating factor for him to be a 2-time MVP and to be a guy that's averaging a triple-double in the playoffs. I think what really motivates him is no more individual accolades and awards. He wants to be a world champion, and I think that's what motivates Nikola Jokic as well as everybody else in this building.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, everybody.
Everybody.
So Michael,